I don't even listen to comedy podcasts, to be perfectly honest. I listen to podcasts, but like my podcasts that I tend to listen to are like,
NPR.
I guess, yeah, like yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. I know. I know. But yeah, I probably listened to like 9 podcasts in the last couple of days that are all comedy. So
Damn. So you're going crazy.
that's just it's my favorite. Probably as of now, it's my favorite entertainment. So anyway, okay, all right. So yeah, okay. I'll introduce myself first. Um, okay. Well, okay. Wait. So are we gonna like say, hey, listeners? Like, are we talking to the listeners? Like, I don't know how to do this.
Or so do you want it to be a conversation between us, or do you want to, I mean, it's like you can have a little bit of both.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll just do it
So
how.
let's so right now I will be the audience.
Okay.
And so you can like introduce yourself to me.
Well, okay. Let's just imagine the listeners are like the third person in the Zoom, right? So like, okay, I'm gonna start and you'll see. Okay. Well, hi guys, I'm Brandi Simpson. Where are you
Hey,
going?
Brandi. Brandi, keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. Well, but okay. Hi guys, I'm Brandi Simpson. I then welcome to Bits and Pieces. Wait, let me start the Hi guys, I'm Brandi Simpson. Welcome to Bits and Pieces. This is a bit of a comedy podcast and just also just a general podcast where we just kind of talk about funny things. Oh wow, hi Cam. And
Hi.
this is my co-host Cameron. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Cameron. Uh, I am, I guess, a comedian. You only have to perform once to be a comedian. Therefore, I'm a comedian. Also, I work doing. This is weird. Or like what I was doing is like I was making an audience for you. You know, like this is a third person in the room. And like we're talking to the orange. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I guess hi, I'm Cameron. I'm I guess Brandy's sidekick in bits and pieces. Uh I am a comedian. I don't write many jokes, and so Brandy has inspired me to write more jokes by doing this comedy podcast with me. And so I'm very appreciative of her.
Real. Yeah, I'm a comedian as well. I've been doing it since February 19th, 2022. But I did take a year off, like from like February 2023 to like now. So, yeah, we're beginners, but we've done some stuff, we've got some experiences. So yeah.
Bra- So,
What? You go ahead.
so I was gonna say, Brandy's actually the person that got me into comedy. You knew this, right?
He's my protege.
Yeah. She Yeah, I am. I am. She said, what'd you say? You said it's the best thing you can do for yourself because
Yeah.
either all things go well or it goes poorly and you can turn it into a bit. I actually have never turned anything that's gone poorly into a bit because it's like not funny outside the context, which I'm like learning more and more about comedy. It's like context is so important. And I don't know how to like build that, bridge that context, but that's why we're here. We're here to learn, here to put some bits and pieces into my piece. Yeah. Uh, I don't know where I was going with that.
Together, put bits and pieces together. Yeah. So like, okay, okay, when's the last time you performed?
Gosh, the last time I performed, I can actually, I can tell you because I like journaled about it because it went so poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I love when people lift their fingers. Oh, it was March 27th, 2024. Uh, Tonight I was served a great big helping of humble pie. I was so humbled that I came home to write about it in my journal. Yeah, I performed in two places tonight. One went well, the other did not go so well. I was not really ready for the performance, either performance. I kind of like write down stuff, and then I'm like, okay, like I can just do that, and then I get in front of people, and I'm just like,
Yeah, that's something Cam is good at is just like going up and like because I feel like I get in my head, I'm like, oh, it has to be perfect. I have to spend hours. And then like, yeah, but he just goes up, he performs. And yeah, you did two in one night. I want to do that. I haven't gotten to that point yet. Um
But yo, when's the last time you performed?
yeah, it was I don't know the date, but it was 2 Wednesdays ago. So I go to this place. Oh yeah, so you perform usually in Jacksonville. You
Yeah.
started you started like on campus at Yale, and then I perform usually in Chicago, and I started on campus at Northwestern. So yeah, I usually go to this bar in Chicago. It's called Uncommon Ground.
Which one?
What do you say?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Uh,
wondering because
go, just
you
go.
go.
No, go, because I was just gonna continue.
I was gonna say, or I was wondering because for a brief stint while I was unemployed, best time of my life, like I look forward to retiring on a daily basis. They were like, we're all caught up in the matrix, but that's neither here nor there. Um, oh, I would perform at some places in Chicago doing comedy, and I was curious of where Brandy performed, but you were saying Uncommon Grounds.
Yes. Uncommon Ground in Wrigleyville. It's cool. I really actually I feel like it will
You
be
go
like
to Wrigleyville?
yeah.
I'm like I feel like I'm gonna be bad all day about interrupting you, but it's like all about improv. I did an improv class, highly recommend it. Yes, and
Yeah.
Wrigleyville, and that's a long ass drive. Like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in Wrigleyville. Usually I'll stay at like my friend Chrissy and Amani's place. They live like 10 minutes away. So it's nice. Like I don't have to like take the train all the way back to Hyde Park after. But yeah, I feel like it's a good environment. I feel like the people like it's usually a lot of comics in the audience, which you'll see it's like a lot of open mics. If the listeners don't know, at least the ones I've been to, it is a lot of comics in the audience. But if they laugh, I take it. I feel like it's better. I prefer if they comics laugh because I'm like, oh, like you guys are funny, most of them. But yeah,
But
it's
there's
yeah. No, what?
I was gonna say that like comedians appreciate jokes more than other people, I would say. And so sometimes like a comedian will laugh at a joke and it's like, oh, like that's a good joke. And then you like try with someone else and they're like, that's not funny. And like they don't understand the craft of it. And it's it can be annoying. Or it's either that or like comedians, they know what it's like to like bomb. And so they're like, that
Yeah,
was hilarious. Right. And so like I don't know which one it is. And like laughter is super contagious.
yeah.
So like is
You already got into talking about
what is it?
comedy. But yeah, I agree. I do a lot of sympathy laughing. I mean, not a lot, but a lot of sympathy laughing at open mics. But like, yeah, I get where you're going, and I'm like, like I'm like I see the vision. Um,
I don't see vision. I mean, or I don't know what vision we're talking about right now. Like if we're talking about the purple one from Marvel, I'm not seeing that vision. If we're gonna be honest.
these are the kind of
But
jokes.
like these, no, yeah. So like I'm quick on my feet when I like have nobody that or I would say quick on my feet. Like I actually don't know how to walk. Like I go to this dance class because I'm looking for hobbies. Um, which I mean, comedy should be my number one hobby, but like, think about it. If you can dance and you can like kind of tell a joke, you're better than a guy that can just tell a joke, or better than a girl that can just tell a joke, right? And so, that's trying to get like integrated into the comedy. And yeah, I'm like super stiff when I dance. They say that I look like I just like move my body around because I'm like not quick on my feet, which is what I was saying.
What were you saying?
I don't know.
You're talking about
I don't-
not having needing hobbies or like why'd you start talking about dance?
because I'm not quick on my feet is what I was getting at. Like I one thing I will say is that Brandy, she got me into comedy, so she'll send me her bits and I've seen her pieces, her bits and pieces. And and Brandy is like, I love her comedy. Brandy's comedy, like I don't know how this is gonna work, but no, like I think Brandy is like an excellent joke writer. Like her jokes are they're like snappy. They're like jokes. I'm like okay, like Brandy's like out here getting laughs, and like her stuff is it's funny, like it's thoughtful, and I really like it.
I appreciate it. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. And I will compliment you later. But you're talking about how you need a comedy to like comedy should be your number one hobby. And I was talking to a comic and I was like, well, how often do you go up? And he was like, a lot, but not enough to where I don't have a life. Because if you don't have a life, then there's nothing. You don't have any comedy to write. So I thought that was really interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like so and it's like, have you thought of any bits from dance class?
Um, well, no, I haven't, but there's this older guy, I think his name is like Mike, and
Yeah.
there's like this dance instructor, and she's like MILF-esque, I guess.
What?
Or
Oh,
like
yes.
MILF-esque. Or like she's an attractive middle-aged woman. Like, yeah, like she's cute. Like whenever I dance, I'm gonna flirt with her. She is my private dance instructor. We might be having a kid. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but every time that they go to these group classes, it's like you can record like the dances because like okay, like I want to go home and practice this. And this older guy, like Mike, like he'll like record her, and then like after she finishes dancing, he'll just like keep it on for like 5 more seconds, just like watching it. And it makes me very deeply uncomfortable. And I know she's uncomfortable and everybody else is uncomfortable. But he's just like an old man that makes people uncomfortable. And so like there's material there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tease it out.
Real. Yeah, I feel like I'm a big like write quickly jot down on my notes like an idea, but I feel like when the time is right, you'll come back to that joke and you'll figure out like how to like I don't feel like I'm not a fan of like forcing finding the joke. Like just keep it in your archives and then you'll figure it out at some point in
So
life.
how do you, Brandy, like, or one,
Mm.
where do you get inspiration from? And
Mm.
two, where do you or like what in life is like inspired you or like or like yeah like one where do you find the inspiration? Like I love your trail mix joke. Like every time I think about branding, I'm like trail mix. Like it's bad. It's gotten to the point where like I'm ruining Brandy's joke because every time I see somebody, I'm like, oh my gosh, my friend, she's a comedian, and you ever like you got to do it, you got to do it,
Oh my god.
but not right now, like in the bits and pieces.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Let me think about the beginning. Yeah, like okay, my sister got she my sister brought me this really like expensive trail mix from Michigan. And I had to text her. I was like, I'm like she was really excited about it. And I was like, I'm so sorry, but like I have a really strong policy against eating anything that looks like someone vacuumed their car and put it into a bag. And so yeah, so like that's the joke. And I feel I came up with that maybe probably a year ago. I don't know. It just that's what it looks like to me. I don't know. It's just a bunch of
No, that's why I love it because it looks exactly like that. That's like one of the things that I there is so Brandy's also a writer, right? And so I think that writers have a better view of the world. Like I see an orange, I'm like, oh, like that's an orange. Brandy sees an orange and she can put it into words that's more than just an orange. Like it's like some hue between red and yellow. It is the afternoon sun, right? And no, I really like that. Writers like see the world like differently. It's not just black and white. It's like I don't know. There's more there, and I think that really helps Brandy with some of your material, and that will help you along your comedy journey, I
I,
believe.
I agree. And then so okay, back to your question, where they get inspiration from? I mean, I guess just interactions, like I definitely like writing comedy in around a bunch of people, like in crowds. So like when I was in school, I would do it in like the library and there's like a lot of people walking around, or um let's see, or like in the Starbucks, or I mean like I don't think I've written it in an airport, but like that kind of vibe, an airport, or like yeah. So I like watching people, and I feel like I can see interactions and like things that make me laugh, and I like try and write something about it. And like I low key, I need to start writing more sketches because I low key feel like that's where I would really shine because like I write like pieces of dialogue that are funny to me all the time, and like just because like I either heard someone say it or like someone said something that triggered that response in my brain. I was like, oh, it'd be funny if someone said that. So like just yeah, I guess just watching life is where I get inspiration. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I like that. Like, what is your writing process like? Like, do you like? I know, like, I'm not a writer, like, not at all a writer. When I write, like, I will literally be like, Cam, comma, write your thoughts. It doesn't have to be important. You just have to write.
Uh,
Righty tighty, fighty clighty. You just need to write. Get words down on the page.
yeah.
Come on, keep coming.
So that's
What are
not.
you doing? It's something that you love.
Mm.
Yeah, it's and it like goes like on and on and on. And eventually I like write maybe something. It's not really that funny. Like I have an idea of like what funny is. And so like it was a long-winded way of saying how do you write?
Uh, okay, so when I need to come up with a new set, I'll go through my list. It's my notes. It's called American Girl Doll. I don't know. That speaks out to me. I was big into American Girl dolls. And I also just like thing titles with the word American in front of it, whatever. So I go into my list.
What? Well, that's a timeout right there. What do you mean you just like things with the word American in front of it? Like American fiction? American slavery? Like what do you like? Like
Oh,
what?
American Gangster, just American Dream. Just
Just American.
you can get into that.
What about
Um,
okay.
so yeah, and so it's like I wanted to see how long it was, so I put it in print mode, and it's 34 pages, so it's a lot. Yeah, but it's been like 3 4 years anyway. So
But do you
what'd you say?
I was gonna ask, do you like type it out or do you like handwrite?
No, this is in my notes
This
app.
is like you
Yeah,
got 34 pages of thumb taps. That's insane.
yeah. So I just go and I pick out my favorite or the ones that I want to that are sparking something in me. Like if I read it and I can think of like the next line I might want to say, then like that counts. Um, so then I pick like 3 or 4, and then I put it into a Google Doc. I love being very like I love the idea of doing like this like non-scholarly thing in like scholarly places. So I love like writing comedy in the library, and I like do my. Here, I pulled up a like I just have Google. Oh, I don't even think you can see it. Anyway, I have Google.
No.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Anyway, I just put in the
You have
Google.
Google Scholar?
What?
You what? What did you say? Yeah.
I put in the Google.
Oh, was I also major red flag right now.
Okay.
I'm supposed to be recording, aren't I? Because I'm like
You
screwing
know,
up.
and I forgot to. I mean, the Zoom is recording, but yeah, let's start. Yeah, go to voice notes on your phone and start recording because I also forgot.
One thing I was going to say, you said you like doing scholarly things in non-scholarly places, and
Oh,
that is my favorite kind of comedy.
okay.
They're you like they're like just irony. Like I love irony. Like one of my favorite examples is Brandi. I've known Brandi for a long time. We met in high school. She knows me not to plan. Like when I was in Chicago, I used to like text Brandi like, "Hey, do you want to like go to the Taste of Chicago?" She lived like 30 minutes away. I could only be there for 30 minutes. And then I'd be late somehow too, and it just like wouldn't work. And so I don't make plans. Like I just show up. And it's something I'm working on.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
I no, I am working on it. But like my job title is planning engineer. Like that's pure irony right there. Like I never do this in my life, and that's my job title. So I like that.
Yeah. Um, okay, yeah. My process. Yeah, I put into Google Doc and then I usually start talking it, like recording voice memo, start talking. I think when I started, I really was just like thinking in my head and typing, but that it gets too much. So like I just start talking it. And so then I try to stop them at 10 minutes if I'm going too long. and then I'll listen back. And like that's my favorite part. I'll really get my mind jogging when I listen to myself talking the bits, or even just like have Siri speak it. And then that'll help me think of new jokes and things to say. And then yeah, I just keep doing that until I have funny stuff. But yeah, so what's your process? Yeah.
Or, I mean, I don't know if I have much of a process right now. Or I also have an existential, like Brandy knows. Brandy knows. Brandy knows that I have this existential crisis where it's like, oh, like I don't think I'm funny like every third hour. I was gonna say third Tuesday, but no, it's like very repetitive. And how do I say this? I think I have an idea of what funny is. And so like when I am writing some material, it's like I already have an idea of like what I'm gonna say, which I don't know if it's like how you do that. It's like, oh, like this, there's some inconsistency here. Let me try and exploit that. Or no, it's really like a lot of, or I think one of the types of jokes that I like are like misdirection, right? It's like, yeah, I'm leading you down one way and then like I hit a quick skirt, right? And we go somewhere completely different. And
Yeah.
so I try to look to my life to see things that um like you can exploit in that, right? So like I recently hobby I recently uh, I recently started planting vegetables,
Oh, okay.
or not vegetables, plants. I have plants. And so I have some tomatoes, I have some jalapenos, I have like what's it called? It's like a, you know, um, aloe vera, it's like that. And the and so I was like, oh, like I'm a plant dad, right? And then I was like, oh, but like I'm really a bad plant dad because my aloe vera leaves, like they were like super brown, which newsflash, plants can get sunburned. That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. They can't move. Why the hell can you get sunburned if you can't move? But anyway, like I'm a bad plant dad. I'm like a deadbeat plant dad. And you're like, oh, like beets are a vegetable. So I'm gonna be like, man, I'm a bad plant dad. Like I am a deadbeat dad, like literally. Like my beets not growing now, you know? And so just like stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have very fun jokes, and it's like, and I usually don't see them coming, so it's like I just like it's like a face palm, like that kind of.
Yeah.
Um,
I love jokes. But so what other kinds of jokes? Because I know that, or sometimes I'll start talking, I'm like, oh, like this seems like it could be funny. And it really is, as you're saying, Brandy, it's in like everyday life, right? Like I come home and I like clean my kitchen and I'm like spraying like my stuff, my kitchen with the cleaning supplies. And I'm like, honestly, I feel like all of these would give me cancer. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like there's like some truth in that. I don't know like where the funny is in that, but like there's something about, we care so much about having things seem clean that we will like give ourselves, or just like throw like hella chemicals just like all over the place. Like not even good for us, just to like appear clean. And there's something funny in there. I don't know what it is.
because I feel
Like
like
how do you explain?
yeah, yeah, because like a lot of comedy, it's just like people like seeing like relatable stuff, and everybody like cleans their kitchen. So when you can find the joke in that, like people get excited because they're like, oh, I know, I felt that before. I know what you mean. So yeah, I do think there's some
Mhm.
real, yeah. Um,
I wish I could rewind because you said something and it made me want to ask you a question, but I forgot what it
yeah,
was.
same. I'm trying to like remember where to go next. Um,
Um, you said like it's an everyday thing, right? And so like there's like observational humor. right? I mean, I always go back to trail mix because it's like the one that I remember most. Like trail
Yeah.
mix, like observation. Or like how do you play into like, oh, okay, this is something right here. So, Brandy, as an open micer, as a comedian, you see a lot of other comedians. And one thing you'll notice about a lot of other comedians is they say things and they're just words. Like it's like, okay, like where was the joke? And it's just like the cleaning supply. It's like, okay, like there's something there, but they'll just say it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah, because
and
I told you the last time, the second to last time I went to an open mic, I was like, I had like my bits ready, but they weren't really like jokey, and I wasn't like prepared. And then I went to just watch, and I'm like, what are these people? I'm like, I definitely could have gone up. Like, I don't know what these people are trying to say. What's the joke? Like, there's just crickets in the room. So I'm like, okay, like that's the day I decided I'm never gonna like not do the open mic. I'm just gonna go up there and just try and at least get experience on stage. Even if I don't have anything. Because like people are really they're just talking.
they are really just talking. And so one thing that I'll notice is you really need so it's people have funny stories happen to them all the time, but they're funny to you because you understand the context. Like I have a ton of funny stories about my dad, right? Like and like I love telling them to my friends, like, Cam, you are so funny. And then I tell someone and they just don't have an idea of like who my dad is as a person, why it would even be funny. Right. And so how do you, Brandy, how do you get people to care about what you're saying? Because that I feel like is the like once you get people to care, then they like bought in. Like that's the first step, and then you can like lead them to where you want to go.
That's a really good question. I'm like worried. Do I have an answer? Like, uh, I'm. I mean, I don't know. Try and make it as relatable as possible. Like, I wish I had an example. I try it. Like, I don't know. I try and connect a lot, and I do have some bits where I kind of like talk to the audience or like talk. Like, I'm not really expecting an answer, but I'm kind of making it a two-way conversation for a second, sort of. And I feel like that kind of gets them engaged. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think and look at my bits to think about other ways. But yeah, how do you do it?
Or no, like I really don't know. Like that's like one of the questions. I feel like if I could get people interested in like who I'm talking about, then I would be doing well. But I don't know how to do that quite yet. And I mean, it takes practice, and I don't do enough practice. So
Yeah.
there's my answer there.
I was like,
I was gonna also ask you. Because this is something that I've noticed that I'm really bad at is I don't know how to start. Like you kind of like go up there and it's like I don't know how I should be talking because like some comedy you can be like talking like the person like one on one versus like large sweeping statements to like everybody and it's like how do you introduce yourself or like what is like you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I'll just say, hey, how's everybody doing? And then I try and start, like, I really like the last one where I just say, I recently found out I'm gross. And like that gets people laughing. And then it's like, I feel like that's a conversation starter. It's like, this is what's happening lately. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think of other ways. I mean, other times, I think a lot of times I actually like talk about the audience or like my joke about like uggos. Like I'll be like, oh, like you guys look good tonight, blah blah. So like talking to the audience or like asking a question, that kind of thing. Yeah.
You
But
like
what though?
or what were you gonna say?
Well, I feel like I'm trying to like understand because like with open mics, people really just kind of go into bit and then don't have a segue and go to the next one, and like people are fine with it as like you just do your pauses. Like for open mics, I feel like you don't have to worry too much about how you start and everything, but it is nice to have like a cohesive start. What were you gonna say?
I don't know.
Okay, because wait a second, Zoom is telling me that like they're like you have to upgrade to have more time in the meeting. I'm so confused. Um, hold on. What is Zoom Pro? I thought Zoom was free. Um, hold on.
It's because you're no longer a student. Oh, that's one thing I was gonna say. Like,
What?
they're like, I'm bad at I'm bad at this when I get nervous, and so like I should have material planned because when I get nervous, I do like cheap comedy. It's like, oh, like shock factor, and
Yeah.
so and I really don't like it, because it's like really not funny. It's not crafty. It's not witty. It's lame, is what it is. And so, um, how do you find, I guess, like nuanced ways to like talk bad about yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like self-deprecation is like a great form of humor, but everybody's heard the same self-deprecating jokes. Like I need someone to go up there and be like, I pucker my asshole when I cough. Like I need something like new. And like how do you feel about like cheap comedy?
Um, Wait, how do I feel? Like, I mean, I feel like, I mean, like everybody does that a little bit. I feel like, and especially as long as it's funny, that's good. But then at a certain point, I'm like, okay, let's get to the real stuff. I don't know. You had a different question in there. I don't remember what it was. Uh,
The other question before the how do you get to the cheap stuff is how do you like work with like self-deprecation?
yeah,
Like how do you
yeah. I like to just
like
balance because like I have my bit about oh I'm trying to get smarter, and I say well like I'm smart. I just don't like know anything. Like I try to like balance it because I also don't want people because when it comes to I also don't want people to get the wrong idea and like have them think that I hate myself, like and like for some
yeah,
people,
no,
yeah. So I'm like I just try and balance it out and with the good stuff I say and the bad stuff I say. Yeah, that's what I do. How about you?
because like or like I don't know. Like I don't my self-deprecating humor or I haven't performed enough to like have much material. But like it's it it's about things that are non or I guess it's like one joke that I have is like a politics joke, right? It's like in college people would be like, Cam, like you should go into politics. And I'm like, I don't know how to take it as a compliment or not because I feel it's kind of sleazy. Like don't tell me I should go into politics. Like what do you mean? Like do you think I'm inauthentic or something? And so I'll go into this bit and it's like, how does it go? So, oh, like people, or so the bit is, oh, people say you should do whatever you do when you procrastinate as a career. When I procrastinate, I just talk about all that I need to do without really doing anything. And so I'd be perfect as a governor, senator, president, you know? And so like that's like and then and then I go into like and I joke about going into politics, but people tell me I should actually go into politics. And that hurts my feelings because I don't want to be inauthentic. And that's why, as your next senator, I hope to, and then I do like that. You know what I'm saying? And so like this is why I love this joke because like you see like young, like handsome, I'm just gonna say it, black man politics, and what do you think? You think Obama, right? And like I spent some time in Chicago. If I'm bombing, I can be like, I'm just like Obama, dropping bombs, and then that's like gets into like more political comedy, which is something that I like to get into. And so that is like, I guess, self-deprecating humor that I
Yeah,
do.
I think so. You said okay, hold on. Let me start another meeting real quick before this ends.
Like what? Um,
I don't know how long we haven't been recording on the thing, but anyway, we'll be fine. Because I know it was recording in the beginning. I don't know. Hmm. But it's okay. Because it's a
it's also just a conversation more than anything else.
yeah, because you're still recording on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have the audio and it's gonna come out and it'll just be clips of video. And so we have plenty of clips of video. Okay. And we have all the okay. Okay. Continue. Sorry. Hmm.
What was your question? It was like, do I talk about like,
Well,
or
yeah,
do I want to, what
sure.
is it?
Yeah, it was like, what's your mission when you're doing stand up, or like, why are you doing this? What? Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't really know. Um, I enjoy making people laugh, and I enjoy like kind of being good at like making people laugh, and I find comedy fascinating, and so like trying to figure out like, oh, like does this make someone laugh? Like, is this funny? Um, drives me to do comedy, but like sometimes I'm like, like, I don't really know why I'm doing comedy, and um, like the feeling you get from like people laughing is unmatched, and like you really want to do it again. And I want to do that with a lot of people and start conversation. But sometimes it's just like, oh, like I don't know how to get there. Or you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even know like how my jokes would progress. I don't do a good job of like knowing where I am like along my journey and along my steps. It's something fun to do. Um,
I mean, yeah, do you have to know? Like you just I feel like you'll do it and then whatever happens is what happens. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like yeah. And I when we're talking about like writing about personal stuff and I honestly like I feel like the personal stuff like that it actually comes easier to write low key. Like okay, in 2022 I had it was my second time performing ever. It was just an audition for a show. Um it was my second time doing stand up ever and like I've been up all night writing. I didn't have time to do anything. I looked like crazy and like it was I couldn't even like smile. Like I was just like I was just forcing I was like I was worried I wasn't gonna go because I didn't have material, but I ended up going last second and I went. So yeah, this is a pattern of like my beginning of the comedy was so like stressful and I'm glad that I've like kind of that year off kind of helped me like get away from that because like it was just so I because I'm just so like perfectionist and like I overthink it way too much and like it was just not anyway. And so I had to write about something that was like really easy to write about. And so I ended up writing about like I wrote like a little bit about weed and like how I it was not going well. Like, you know, not to get like too deep, but like I had a joke about like I was like I started to what was it? I was like, oh, like I smoke weed, and then like an hour or two later, I get that euphoric feeling that everybody was talking about, but then I realized like that was just sobriety, and like, and that got a laugh, and like it's just, and but like writing that bit about weed was like it was really easy. I felt like it was funny. People laughed, and so I feel like I was like, oh, like maybe like writing about the stuff that's like literally going on in my life is like it is easier, and it's like and like that's where I come alive in my writing. I didn't and like and then maybe I'll go back to those bits now because like it's not really the issue that it was in the last year or two. But like yeah, I was like nervous. Like I was like, oh, this is a good bit, but like I'm not comfortable talking about this because one, that the issue was not solved. And two, I was like, this is too vulnerable. And I didn't want and because the issue wasn't solved, I didn't want people to like I didn't want to talk about like not I didn't want to talk about issues with weed and then have people and then like if I wasn't doing as well with it anymore, people would be like, oh, what's going on? Like I didn't want I didn't want the expectations of those makes
Uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like so and so like and I honestly I wouldn't say that what we're in April, it's probably been 1 month since I feel like, oh, like that's in the past. So like now I'm kind of thinking about it. I'm like, oh, like this could be like a lot of good material. But like but like that did make me think like, oh, like the personal stuff might be where it's at but I
feels more
yeah,
that's like, who is Brandy, like, and so like that's like the thing about comedy. That's one thing about comedy. It's like anybody can tell a joke, but only you can tell jokes that mean something to you.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah, I agree.
And like we have this idea like, oh, we have our own unique experiences. No, no. I mean, we have like Yeah, I don't know what experiences you have, and there will be plenty that you have that I'm not gonna have, but in an audience and bigger and bigger and bigger audiences, no matter what, like someone is going to have done the thing that you did, right? Like if I go, and so like that's the other thing about comedy, like you will be successful. You just need to have a big enough audience. And it's just like
Yeah.
like it's hard. I ate cereal with water one time. I was just like let me see like if this is gonna work. Like Brandy's never done that experience, but I know that with enough people, someone else will have done that before.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't even, and it's like comedy is also nice because like it doesn't, you just have to connect with the person. They don't even have to have done it. That is where like you'll get your big fans like oh my god, I relate. But like you just have to make it relatable or make the feeling relatable because everybody has felt like, oh, why did I do that? Or like embarrassment. Everyone has felt these emotions that activity brought you. So like you just have to convey that and like just connect with people or just make them laugh. Like making people laugh is connecting with them in a way. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's yeah. There's a lot of ways for comedy to connect with people, I would say.
How do you get into like the emotional side? Like I mean, I've learned I'm like a pretty emotional person. Last time I cried was today. Um, Beat that, Brandy. It was like
Can't beat that, yeah.
4 hours ago, right? I probably might go home. I'm home. I might go to sleep and cry a little bit more, like beat that, Brandy. But like, how do you like talk about your emotions and like, because I mean, emotion or I love American football. And I think more people love American football because of how emotional the game is. Like Brandy, I can right. If I start talking to you and I into how amazing it feels to just have that freaking energy coursing through your body, like that emotion, that rawness. I don't know what ness it is, but that's like you love it. You love it. And I mean, humans are deeply, deeply emotional creatures. And so talking about that with comedy works, but I don't really know how to talk about emotions. Like if you look at my journal, it's like I'm sad. What am I sad about? I don't know. I just know that I'm sad, you know?
Okay. When you like, are you talking about any? Okay, so like when you when you cried this last week, is it all negative crying?
I mean, like, did I happy cry?
Because like
Is that the question? Like, did I cry tears of joy? No, they weren't tears of joy, Brandy.
I think they were for me. Okay, like it takes a lot for me to cry about bad stuff, but I one military surprise, like I'm in tears. Like I cry like I spent like 30 minutes. Like that's one of my honestly my favorite thing to do on TikTok is just watch like heartwarming videos, like surprises and like
Oh
people
God.
yeah, people giving
Yeah.
gifts. That's yeah, yeah. Like literally,
You're gonna laugh at me, Brandy.
oh God.
Like the only thing, oh gosh, this is kind of embarrassing. Like something that like damn near brought me to tears. I was watching the Jeremy Lin Sanity documentary. And as it was describing Jeremy Lin going through it, I was like, oh, Jeremy, no. I don't know what got me so emotional about Jeremy Lin, but I was like, that
I
man can hoop right there.
people I
We
like
love an underdog.
yeah, that's my favorite thing in the world. And then I think that's why I love sports, but not in the way that I'm like paying attention to the game particularly. But I love the energy. I love how fans get so excited and like the people. I loved being on the sidelines taking pictures because like people are like teammates, giving them hugs, giving them pep talks, trying to lift each other up. Like the fans, like it just little kids in the stands like screaming for their favorite player. Like I love all that stuff. Um, and so like yeah, and so like I don't know where I'm going, but yeah, I definitely like I love like I TikTok like I just save I have a folder of like just videos of like heartwarming things from people that it just makes me cry. And it's and it's I love it, yeah, anyway. But you asked me about emotion in I mean, but like that's my thing. Like, have I displayed emotion? Like besides like just trying to be like talk slower and display like awkward emotion. Like I don't know if I have. Can you think of any jokes where I'm like displaying emotion particularly?
It's also hard to like, or I don't know if it's hard, but like short jokes, your jokes are like very jokey, and I feel like it's hard to have emotion in a jokey joke because you don't have time to talk about it.
Yeah,
Like it just is like you can't be like, oh, and like how did that make me feel? You don't have time for that. Like people are like, I'm wanting to laugh.
I really
You
appreciate
can
you.
like cry.
I
What'd you
appreciate
say?
you jokey jokes because I don't feel like I mean, yeah, I don't feel like I have jokey jokes. I don't feel like I'm like that, but I appreciate it. I take it because like that is my goal. I feel, but I do want to be like you like storytelling, and I do want to be able to tell a story like and make that funny. Like that is a goal of mine. I don't know.
I tell stories, but I don't think I mean, this is my existential comedy crisis, my comedy crisis, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't actually. But it's like if you're gonna tell a story, at the very least, you have to make it interesting, And so like that's actually one thing that I did that that it brought me some, I wouldn't say joy, but like I was like maybe I'll do this. Like I don't know if I'm gonna do just like pure comedy. Like I also like just like want to talk about things in general that I find interesting. It's like not a joke. Like one of the things I was talking about was it was like there's a cadence of comedy, right? There's like it's like a cadence of being happy and joyful, right? It's like a very high energy, like when you're laughing, like ha 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 ha. Right? It's like high, it's highly repetitive. But even like if you have something that's funny and you want to get your friend's attention, you're not gonna like tap them on the shoulder. It's like at like the same cadence as like someone's laughing. It's like ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like I find that fascinating. I'm like, and I mean, I know humans are like association machines. Like you see the moon up one day, and you're like, that just means that Pisces is in rising, whatever that fucking means, right? But like we do tend to like look at anything and try to look at it as a sign, like to be in control. And so I don't know if that's something, but it's something that I find fascinating. I guess it's like, oh, like I find this fascinating. Let me share this with you. I'm like a 5-year old, like you know how like a 5-year old, or gosh, I must sound crazy. I was at the beach and I saw this 5-year-old, and I don't know if it was five, but it was this kid. He was just so happy to be a kid. Just like so happy. Like he was picking up shells and he was like running over to his mom, like showing her his mom the shell. And it was like adorable because it's pure joy. It's pure just like fascination with life. It's just like, I like this. I want to show you this because I think it's amazing. Right. And so like I do tend to do that with some things. Like I find this fascinating. And so I want to share it with you. It's like I'm a 4-year-old with my green dinosaur toy, right?
And I think that that's good. Like there's so many comedians in the world. Like I think there's a space for the kind that you're trying to do. And like I think you make it that makes me think of like, do you know Mike Birbiglia?
Yeah.
Yeah, like them, like he does like it's one man show and he gets very emotional. He talks about a lot of serious stuff, and I feel like, but he's still very funny. There's constantly jokes still, like it just maybe not like that. Like there's definitely room for the emotion, but like yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that you can do that. I think that that's that certainly counts as comedy. And like yeah, you can be successful talking about emotion and like serious things if you want. I do think we need to wrap it up. It's
I
been
agree.
it's been a while. We can,
Yeah, oh, you have a ton of editing ahead of you.
well, this was fun.
That'll
Everybody,
be fun.
thanks for listening to the first episode of Bits and Pieces. Um, we talked about a lot. I feel like we did less bits, but like I'm not mad at it. But I do want next time I do want us to like play some stuff that we've performed. How does that sound to you?
Cool. You need to perform. You need to perform to for that to happen. I mean,
Well,
I know you have some like clips.
we have stuff to start with.
Yeah, I mean, I have stuff, but like you already said it. Like I just go up there and I'm like,
Yeah. Okay.
let's see how this.
We didn't really like talk about like what the podcast. I mean, like it's very much just bare bones, like what we have. If you and that's the thing, like you can show what you have, and then you can give your disclaimers and be like, this is how I feel about this. This is what I was trying to go for, and like we can analyze it. I think that that's interesting and like helpful for you, perhaps. For me. Um,
You know?
yeah, but yeah.
I feel
So
like I get more listenership than you do, and so I appreciate that. I feel bad. It feels like I wouldn't say using you, but like in some ways.
yeah,
But
I
because I
what
what was
I feel like it's I feel like it honestly evens out because this like I would not be I think that talking to you about comedy makes me do it more. I don't think I would be as proactive and I don't think I would perform as much if
me? You're using me, Brandy. You're using me.
how'd you turn it
No, I joke. I give you a hard
around?
time.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I
and
think it'd also be funny.
what?
Like we need to wrap it up. Like I noticed like as this conversation was going on, you're like, you know what I or you don't know what I'm gonna say, but you probably have an idea what I'm gonna say. Where you're like, there will never be a conversation where you talk more than I do. And I think that I got to see some of that right now because like I'm not self-aware enough to know what's going on. And I realize that I don't ask a lot of questions. I just say it and it's like, eh. And so like some of like the not talking is like on me. So I'll be eager to see like what you think. Like when you listen back to it, you're like, wow, like, what's going on with that?
Okay. I mean, you asked some questions. You definitely
But I started to in the end because like, wow, I was like, I just straight, like, I cut you off like I did just now, and then I'll go into a long tangent about something, and then I'll just like stop what I'm saying, like completely cutting it off. And just like,
it's okay. I think that's what I signed up for. We're good. Um yeah, any last things you want to say to our listeners?
I wonder how many we're gonna have.
Me too.
Like one, two, zero. Like I don't even like I will I guess I have to listen to our podcast. Like imagine we have one listener and it's you. I'm just like, Cam, like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm sorry, I don't listen to podcasts. And how are we even gonna release it? Where?
YouTube, I guess. Yeah.
We'll put this on YouTube.
But like not I think it'll have to be audio because right now, at least right now where we're at, it's an audio podcast, but there's clips that we post on social media. Um but we'll have to put the audio on YouTube because like I'm not gonna pay for Spotify right now, like to get it on.
Shoot, how much is Spotify?
I don't know. So that's something we'll have to figure out. But yeah, YouTube and social media, mostly I'm thinking Instagram, but yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're
Gonna put
working.
it on TikTok?
And yeah, that might we kind of need to. That's yeah, we do need to put on TikTok. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like we'll have at least six. I mean, I can think of at least three friends of mine who would listen, and maybe you have three friends or family members who would listen. Um, but then yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Brandy? Big number, Brandy.
Okay, so but everybody, thank you for listening, and we'll see you on Bits and Pieces next time.
We'll see you next. Peace. Bits and peace. As